What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast, and we got all kinds of fun stuff going on here. All right, first off, Jungle Gyms is known for a lot of things. We've got food from all over the world, and apparently we've got the world's least wide aisle on the planet. And I'll challenge you. Come on, Wegmans, Kroger, Meijer, all those brands. Do you have an aisle that is less wide than this? I'd love to see it. So this week we've got some fun stuff coming up on the show. I'm really excited for a segment late this week's episode, which I'll also upload in a few weeks here separately so you can watch it, but I want to see your views on this. But it's a segment brought to you by Travel Butler County called What's in Your Cart? And it's a lot of fun. It'll be one of the last things on the show. And of course, prior to this, you can actually meet the fine people of Travel Butler County to see what they do, talk about our great area. But you know what? I'm hanging out over here in the Scandinavian area because I had a fun little bit of action. On one of our recent episodes, a gentleman named Sebastian left a comment on the video and was like, "Hey, Mark, let me know if you'd want someone cool like me to come in and talk to you all about Sweden." And I said, well, yeah, what are you doing this Thursday? So I brought Seb in. He's a cool guy. He's got a really cool job. We talk about it in the interview. And then we get to try out some fun Swedish official things. You know what? Let's dive right into it. Meet Seb. One of my favorite segments early on in doing the show was meeting random customers and guests and things like that. And sometimes they just come right in my office. I'm glad that's happening less frequently. But we met today's guest through a YouTube comment, and I just am very forward with all of you. I was like, oh, you can teach me? Come on in. So I'd like you to meet Sebastian. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, first off, how did you find me?
Well, I was looking at the YouTube channel, and I was watching the episode you did with OHLQ, and I figured, maybe, you would be interested in having me on and talk about Swedish foods and drinks, because born and raised in Sweden, spent the last 16 years though here in America.
Sure.
So I figured, hey, why not?
Well, and you're a fellow podcaster as well.
I am, yeah. I do a Swedish NHL podcast. So I work for the National Hockey League and their Swedish website. So do writing content for them, and then for a different site, I do a podcast.
That's so cool. Well, this is a good time to plug that. What's the name of the show?
Svenska Fans NHL Podcast.
And what does that translate out to?
Swedish Fans NHL Podcast.
I kind of assume, but at the same time, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm here to be the idiot for everyone else. It was such a great thing. And again, I will encourage all of you to do this. If you've got some sort of international culture you'd like to share with me, please reach out as Sebastian did. I thought it was really cool that you were willing to do that in the first place. And then when you were like, yeah, I'll come in like this week. I was like, I had that moment, I was like, oh shit. Okay, yeah. We got a hole in the schedule. Let's do it. No, this is super fun. So I guess tell me a little bit about your upbringing in Sweden. Like and now that you've been here in the States for 16 years, what are some of the big comparisons that you notice?
Well, I'm from the west coast of Sweden, from Gothenburg, or Göteborg, as we say in Swedish. Second largest city in the country. Was originally a big fishing town, and you had the wharf where you build the boats. You got a lot of shipping. It's a workers' town,
right?
Originally, so as in most of Sweden, the food growing up, it's hearty. It's like you're supposed to eat and then go out and plow the fields or work down the docks or whatever. So a lot of meat and potatoes, a lot of fish since we're on the coast.
Right.
That pretty much goes for Sweden in general. We love our fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, going over to America, when I first moved over, I went to school in California. Then I went to Arizona. So, you got that totally different, California, the avocados, the southern influence coming, from Mexico and everything. And same with Arizona. So, I'm happy that I've lived in those places and got to experience that, because Swedish tacos, little ground beef, a hard shell taco, a little bit of lettuce and some salsa. Basic.
And I feel like that until like recent times, I feel like that was a pretty similar to how Americans were making tacos until we found out that there were better ways.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're all like, oh, there's like this all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's a taqueria in the gas station up the street. I mean, no joke, right? And they're always the good ones. That's I have an expression that I don't think I should repeat on the show, but remind me afterwards. But it's something along the lines of, if the sign sucks, and I'll leave it at that. But it's a good tell. So that's really, really cool. Were there like any big like cultural shock things that you experienced when you came over?
Well, I think Americans are a bit more forward. Like, say hello to random people. And, like in Sweden, you don't really say hello to your neighbors. You just keep to yourself.
I'm into this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but once you get past that first layer of a Swede, I feel like we're pretty welcoming people and, easy to get along with.
I'm into that. I mean, look, I think for so many of us, I know we joked about this off air, but I'll joke on it on air too. For so many of us, most of our introduction to Scandinavian culture is just IKEA, Volvo. Yep. It's like you might know lingonberries, but you probably only know that because of IKEA.
Yeah, exactly. You know that, like our music, ABBA. Most
right.
likely.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. No, and that I had to actually hand assemble you piece by piece before we did the interview.
Came with instructions at least.
They were very good instructions too, and I had like a little Allen key.
Have you thought about that? IKEA they do picture.
That's a great point, but I mean, what else do you really need, right?
I mean, it's better because then you don't have to translate everything into a billion different languages.
Smart move, yeah. And honestly, I would say that of all of the furniture I've ever built, the stuff from IKEA is the stuff that I actually successfully did without having to go, okay, like, wait, what part is this? Yeah, because there's too much. I studied technical writing very briefly in school, and I was very quickly turned off by it. It was like, oh, this is not fun at all. And it's like you're constantly combating against, okay, like, is the dumbest person on the planet going to read this, and can they still build this office chair kind of thing? Yeah. And the answer is yes. No, so I love that about it. But I don't want to brush too far. We've got a glass of something in front of us. I thought maybe you could lead us through this.
Sure.
We grabbed a bunch of, I would say, fairly popular. I mean, I'm trusting you that these are popular items to try. So I
figured it was a good cross-section of some candy and drinks to try. So first we have our elderflower drink concentrate.
Cool.
So you do 1 part of this and then 6 parts with water, or even better, sparkling water.
Oh, I should have grabbed some of that liquid death.
And then, if it's a Friday night, you can put in something else.
Oh, yeah. A little, we can do a little booze on the show.
Yeah, a little vodka into that.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So, cheers. I'll drink to that.
Well, yes.
That's fun. It's like I'm getting, upfront notes of like a floral note, but there's almost like a berry flavor to it too.
Yes.
That's delicious. I know we were talking off air how cherry seems to be the American additional flavor, but this was, you were saying.
Yeah, this is something like we got our lingonberry stuff. We have the elderflower stuff. We also like a lot of pear flavored stuff.
Oh, I'm into that too.
So if you're into vodka, and I'm not going to, but there is a certain Swedish vodka manufacturer that have a pear and elderflower.
I mean, you could plug them if you want. I'm curious. We're down to try stuff.
It's Absolute.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah. So, they have to try that. Pear and elderflower vodka. That's really good.
Wow. And I bet that would be amazing with this. This is delicious, super refreshing. And we just used like bottled water for this.
It's bottled water. I mean, if you want to spruce it up, like I said, do a mineral water.
Yeah, a little sparkling or something like that. A little Topo Chico or something like that. Oh, I'm into that. That's really, really good. Well, yeah, let's move down the line. Honestly, I want to.
You want to get that over with first?
I don't even want to get it over with. Look, real talk. So this one, what is this first off?
So this is salty licorice fish.
Okay.
Like I think most Americans know Swedish fish, the red gummies,
Yeah.
Yeah. We just call them fish. Right. No, but salty licorice is something that's very unique to the Scandinavian countries.
Okay.
So the Finns, they eat a lot of licorice. Same with the Danes and the Swedes. So it's Norwegians, I don't know as much. I mean, I guess Finland isn't technically part of Scandinavia, but it's.
Thank you.
But salty licorice, definitely something that might be sort of an acquired taste, something that you need to.
And I should mention, I don't really love licorice, which is partly why I'm so curious in the first place. But I feel like in a weird way, the salt part might be the thing that sets it off for me.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer salty licorice over sweet licorice.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then it's like any other gummy, gets stuck everywhere, and
No, but the salt is like the thing that changed. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I am surprised how much I like this.
Okay, I'm glad you do.
Yeah. Because I'm
that
like I am a sweet, like, so when you brought the raspberries, I was like, all right, I'm in. But this is so, I mean, it's very familiar, right? Like, we've had licorice before, so if you're watching, you know what licorice tastes like. But the salt, it's like the salt almost provides, in a weird way, a bit of sweetness and makes that anise flavor pop out in a different way than normal.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow, what are we doing with our licorice in the States? It's terrible.
Just add a bunch of sugar to it.
That's it, right? Yeah.
I mean, not that this doesn't have a bunch of sugar in it.
But like, that's our move for everything in the States. You're like, if we could put more corn syrup in it.
I definitely feel like this is the one thing where I've tried to give it to friends, that are not familiar with it. And like 90 out of 100 would be like spitting it out, basically.
Really?
Like, what is this? This is gross. But
yeah, I mean, it's exactly as described.
Yeah.
I'm taking it back.
Okay, let's do this.
We'll compare it to the sweet one.
No. Well, yes. First, just have one of the raspberry gummy drops.
Okay.
Good, right? Got that nice little crunchy sugar in there and everything. And now, here.
We're going to combine it?
Yes.
Oh, baby. I'm going where no American man has gone before. Whoa. It's really well-rounded. You get like all of the flavor sensations all in one bite.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't like licorice, it tempers the licorice taste quite a bit. I mean, I thought the salt already did. I'm sitting here going like, I'm buying a bag of these later.
Yeah, no, so I mean, it's something that's very traditionally Swedish. It's what we call Saturday candy or lördagsgodis.
Okay.
So basically, a lot of places, a lot of grocery stores, a lot of, like, even if you go to the gas station, you'll have a wall with candy. So it's like, this is just a packaged version of it. So basically, you would have stuff like this in big vats. You got a little mini shovel, and then you just fill up your own bag. You weigh it, you pay for it. So that is something that's very, very quintessentially Swedish, is lördagsgodis.
I love it. Why is there some cultural relevance to it being on Saturday, or is that just because
I don't know
Saturday's
why it was on why it became Saturday, but it's that is one thing. Like, every kid growing up, you're like, oh, Saturday, because that means candy.
That's awesome. We and it's funny because you'd think that would be kind of an American thing that we would adopt. But instead, we were just cartoons and advertisements on Saturday morning. But I was still just as excited. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I really had fun with that.
Good.
Yeah. And not that you described the raspberry very well. I was too excited. But yeah, the crunchy texture on the outside of it. And I will say this, it's obviously sweet, fruity, all the things you'd expect. And this is such a recurring comment I make on the show, but it's nowhere near as cloyingly sweet as you would expect from an American candy, right? Which is just like over the top. Rot your teeth out immediately. Yeah. And by the way, I like those too, but there's, as I grow, this is my advanced palate.
As you evolve your palates, make it more international.
That's right, exactly. Yep. No, it's cool. And, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I barely eat U.S. candy anymore because it's just better everywhere.
I mean, why, if you have access to this point?
I'm spoiled.
I'm not saying that there's exceptional
I will say it.
American candy too.
Sure.
But a lot of take chocolate, for example. So kind of a segue into the next one. Yeah. So for chocolate, a lot of Swedes don't like the American chocolate because for us, it has something in it that reminds us of puke.
Oh, I actually studied that, and you're right to feel that way. You're very accurate. It's butyryl, I think it's called. And so Milton Hershey figured this out in the 1940s, and that's what gives it that little bit of funk. And it literally is. It's like they sour the milk just enough to make it. So I guess in the 1940s, the whole deal was that it wasn't shelf stable if you used fresh milk, right? So it's like a chocolate bar would have to go away after a week. Yeah. So he did this, which is why it made it so popular. And then now almost 100 years later, it's just become the American norm. So but they're wrong.
So that is something that we find a bit odd.
Yeah?
Yeah, one of the worst things I did a paid study for Hershey's.
Yeah.
When they were doing a I don't know if they were doing a redesign or something of the almond chocolate bar.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't know how many of those I ate, but it was like, oh, here are the ones with the full almonds or whole almonds. Here's the almond where you can see it on the backside. Here's crushed almonds. And I was just like, this chocolate is so disgusting. But I mean, I got paid, so
Yeah, no, the system works. I'm into
okay.
it.
So this is
What do we have? Read this,
straight
the milk
up
chocolate?
Yeah, straight up milk chocolate.
Okay.
The classic.
All the hallmarks of a good European chocolate.
Yeah.
Creamy, rich. Another fun note, American chocolate has the lowest amount of cocoa required to be considered chocolate out of all the countries in the world.
Okay. Oh.
10%. And I think everywhere else, I think the next lowest is 20%.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much is in this one, but
they'll never tell us, outside of that anecdote. That's what I'm here for. I'll explore that. It's delicious, though.
yeah, it's just a solid milk chocolate. I mean, you get, like you said, it's reminiscent of a lot of other European milk chocolates, but
I never know how to tell people this, but I'm like, as soon as you try better chocolate, there's no going back. You're like, oh, and especially when you find out it's affordable too.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding there in the audience that, if you're going to get something high quality, it always has a very high price tag associated. And sure, it might not be $2 for $1 at the checkout line, but it's probably $1 for $1.
exactly.
So not an awful price. No. Did you see were there any odd ones in this one too? You said something. I thought when we were shopping about. Was there like a butterscotch one or something?
Well, there's it's like a mixed. I'm just pouring everything out here.
Let's go for it. That's fine. That's what the table's for.
Yeah. So we have these, which it's called gräddkola.
Okay.
So that is if you unwrap it here.
Yeah.
So it's
I love the packaging too. That's great.
Yeah, it's like old timey.
Yeah.
From Mullsjö. I don't know if I've been there, but it's. I mean, you have stuff like this here in America too, but it's.
I often feel like we are just aping the other. We're such a young country still, relatively speaking. Oh yeah, this looks fun. It's like a little caramel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you had a lot of immigrants come over, they bring over their stuff, and
that was not the texture I was expecting.
I was just gonna say, so it's more of a crumbly texture than that really, pulley gets stuck everywhere in your teeth.
You can see this everywhere. Yeah, it's actually much more pleasing to eat, I think.
Yeah. And then it takes a while, and then you get that like kind of butterscotchy finish.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, because up front it's just like a little sweet.
Yeah.
And and maybe it's because it's my first time, but I was so taken aback by the texture. Because you said it well, it's crumbly. Yeah, you just bite right through it. I wasn't expecting it. And because it looks and feels like it's going to be
like a saltwater taffy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though. Yeah, it's just got a really kind of a bright caramel butterscotch flavor. That's delicious. What a winner.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
So, and then we have our Kekschoklad, or as they say in some parts of the country, Kekschoklad. That's a big debate if you say Kex or Kex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on where you are, but
I love it.
I say Kex.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll lean with that too.
Yeah. So let's see. There's yours.
Oh, thank you.
So this is milk chocolate with wafer, sort of a layered type deal there.
Oh yeah.
And if you smell it, you can tell it's not super, super sweet.
No, not at all. That's great, though. Yeah. It tastes, though the smell is very leading, right? Yeah. Like you can smell the biscuit. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
I love this. And I know we were joking before about the palate advancing, but that is one of those things I love about, well, not just working here, but about meeting people like yourself too. I'm like, I get to explore some things, and chocolate's familiar, but at the same time, it's like different enough to go like, this is amazing.
Yep.
I'm just glad you saved me from doing the creamed roe this early in the morning.
Well, like I said, that might be a whole other episode. We'll see.
I'll plan that. I think we should look. If you all want to see that, if you've ever seen it, comes in a tube. It was actually funny because in my head I was like, "Oh, it's like fish toothpaste," and then you were like, "Oh, don't eat this. Then have orange juice," and then you're like, "It's just like toothpaste."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, cool." I've always been curious about it, and I thought about it today, but because I've got other tastings coming up, we'll just plan our next visit. We'll do. I know we've got the Christmas soda here. Maybe that's a good lead-in for the end.
Absolutely.
Is this a twist off?
Nope.
Actually, it seemed like it was twisting
It's
for me.
a twist off. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. It is. Never
Either
mind.
that or I'm incredibly strong now.
Here,
power of
here I
Swedish
thought
candy.
they did it the proper Swedish way. We don't have twist offs.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so this is a Christmas soda. I wouldn't compare it to a root beer, but if it's like, if you have to say something, then
It's in the ballpark.
it's more leaning that way than like a regular cola.
Huh.
Cool.
Cheers. Oh, that tastes way better. I had a weird thought when I first smelled it. I was like, it smells like the dish soap I use. Isn't that like fruity, like kind of like sweet? I don't know exactly what the smell is. And it tastes, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way either.
No.
I'm like, that's good though.
Yeah. No, so, I can down a lot of these during Christmas.
Yeah, so I was going to say, what's the tie to it being, why do they call it Christmas soda? Is it just predominantly that year?
So they put out Christmas soda and then they put out Easter soda. It's the same soda.
Okay.
They just slap a different label on it.
Genius.
But that's the only 2 times of the year that it's available.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm glad that came in. We just started getting all of our like holiday stuff coming in here from all the international. So we had like, well, I don't know if you noticed when we were in the refrigerated aisle, but like right behind it, it looked like they had just put in all of the other stuff. Although I think it was predominantly Germany, but still, that's
but
great.
there's a lot of connection there too, because you have Swedish as a language, Germanic based.
Yeah.
So we share quite a lot of stuff, a lot of meat and potatoes and whatnot.
Yeah. Right.
But Christmas soda is one of those just you gotta have them at Christmas.
I love that. Like again, it was one of those. So I'm sorry to go back to the IKEA thing, but prior to working in a store that carried all of this, that was like one of those go-tos. And I remember years ago, they had something, and I can't remember, but I thought it was a Christmas soda, and I just remember it having way more of like the anise flavor, like of that like strong licorice kind of. And there was
they still sell their Christmas soda, and I just quick, my first job ever, I worked Sundays. I was like 13, 14. I worked Sundays pushing carts at IKEA.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then in Arizona, I also worked for IKEA for a bit. So it's like, hey, I'm Swedish. Can I work here?
Right.
Like,
And they're just
sure.
like, oh my gosh,
Come in,
man, we already have a desk for you. It's crazy.
Yeah. But they have their Christmas soda still. I don't think it compares to this. This is a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, whatever I tried, I did not like. So when I saw this come in last year, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
And now
this is a lot better. So this is Grandpa Lundquist.
Oh, classic.
Good old Grandpa Lundquist. So he has a bunch of other stuff too. I noticed in the Scandinavian shelf there.
Yeah. I'm struggling to describe the flavors, but I just keep saying that I like it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they're. I mean, it's hard for me to describe. Even.
Yeah. I get a little of that. Is there like wheat or is there like a barley component? There's like almost like
hops and malt from barley.
Boom. Okay. Sweet. Damn, I'm good. Yeah. So it's like I get a little of that note in there, but I also almost get, and I hate to keep saying the berry thing. Maybe it's some of the raspberry stuck in my teeth, but I'm getting a bit of a berry thing too in there as well. I don't know what that is, but I don't know how to describe this, but it's great. This is like, I had a gentleman on a while back, hi Ben, who runs like he does like a Explore Cincinnati blog. I think actually the page is Explore Cincinnati on Instagram, but he is from Russia, and we were talking about kvass, the child's beer. And I'm kind of, now that I still haven't tried kvass, which I told him, well, Ben, come back in and let's have kvass. This is kind of what I'm expecting.
I was going to say that's kvass is probably this on steroids, basically. It's like drinking dark rye bread.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that being a more intense thing.
It's
maybe that's, I'm down to try it. Well, I'm looking forward to our return visit where we do, the cream salmon roe.
Yeah, I was going to say smoked cream or a smoked roe. There's the herring. There's the fish balls.
Yeah, we'll do all that. We should do a whole fish episode. And I mean, this is just one of those that we just kind of, look, everyone, we just kind of winged this. We were just like, oh, this will be a good bit. We'll figure it out. And we hung out for a little bit and we got to know each other. And then we're like, all right, let's start here. And then we're going to get even weirder in the future. So I would love to have you back if you'd be interested.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And if I can ever do anything for you too, the door is always open. So
awesome. I just have one request.
Of course.
Move the Swiss stuff away from the Scandinavian aisle.
Oh, okay. Wait, explain this to me.
Okay,
just to
so
be careful.
very common for Americans to mix up Sweden and Switzerland.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder why that is.
IKEA, Volvo, ABBA. Cheese, watches, banking. Okay? Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
That is funny that we do confuse that though, and it does seem pretty. I guess they're just like, SW word,
exactly,
cut it off, whatever.
SW.
That's got a vowel after it. We're good.
Yep.
That's really funny. Okay, everyone. Well, if you heard that international team, I'm sending this specific clip to you. Don't do that. We gotta figure out a place for it. Separate it out a little bit. Well, I appreciate the knowledge. Thanks for coming in, Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You want to give one more plug to your show?
Sure. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at Seb Noren, SEBNOREN. That's probably the easiest way.
Cool.
And then you can find everything else from there.
Yeah, so what we should do when we get more of our holiday stuff in, we'll do, like you were talking about, the crisp breads, and I know we did the cream roll. How many times?
I mean, like I
said
said too,
fish balls.
Off air, I told you too. I can bake you Johnson's Temptation.
Oh yes, I think we should definitely do that too. That'll be a fun thing, and maybe I'll bring in like some of the other staff in here. We can try it together.
Absolutely.
It'd be awesome. Thanks so much for your time today, Sebastian.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure.
That's funny, right? Well, anyway, this week on the show, we're coming up next with Travel Butler County. You see, Travel Butler County does all kinds of great stuff in the area here. And more importantly, we're about to do one of my favorite new bits of the show, What's in Your Cart? Check it out. Thanks, Ren. Lucky I blew it. I forgot my wallet in the office.
Here's a little inside baseball for you. I had some recording board woes months ago, so I'm glad that all of you from Travel Butler County did not dismiss me permanently by coming back on the show to tell me what you do. So tell you what, if we'll just go around the room and if you all introduce yourselves and what you do for Travel Butler County.
Sure. Hi, I'm Tracy Cucker, Vice President of Marketing and Communications, and I work with these lovely ladies.
And I'm Catherine Trucco. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager, Travel Butler County.
And I'm Carly Dwanger, and I do all of the social media and content for Travel Butler County.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so whoever wants to field this, I haven't had this many guests on in a while, so I'm a little excited to see if I still got it. What exactly what's the goal of Travel Butler County? Maybe I'll start there.
Our whole goal is economic impact through tourism. So we want people to come and visit us, visit our small businesses, go to restaurants, go to attractions, hotels, gas stations, grocery stores, everything in between, and then go back home and tell people about it. So that's really our mission.
How long has Travel Butler County been an actual organization in this regard?
16 years, I think.
Cool.
If not 16, close to it. Yeah.
I've got your bosses in here. Actually, just wait. Oh, was that also Mark, right?
Yes.
He's watching right now to see if we have the right answers. I gave him a list of questions.
Yeah, so he would know. He's the founding member.
He's the first employee, so he'll probably quiz us later.
Well, the good news is I have a very strict rule on the show where I don't allow anyone else named Mark in the room. So
that's fair.
So what are some of your favorite things in the area that you like to tell people about? Maybe Jungle Gyms aside, since we're obviously here already.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a top pick for us, but there's a lot of really cool things to do in Butler County that I don't think people know are here. Like, we have one of the best skydiving places in the world here in Middletown, Start Skydiving, which I think all of us have been skydiving at this point. So you're next. We're going to take you.
That's the episode I am terrified of.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah, falling out of a plane. It sounds like it's definitely on my list of things. It's on the real side of my board.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
It's a good one.
I can't even imagine doing that, by the way. You went as well, Carly?
Yeah, I did it just like a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, I took my dad.
Was this just Catherine's peer pressure?
No,
you took your dad.
That was something I've always wanted to do. So when I started working for Travel Butler County about like 3 years ago, once I found out about Start Skydiving, I put that on my list. And so then I think I gifted it to my dad for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Because he's done it before.
Oh, cool.
He was in the Army, so he did some of that stuff.
Sure.
But he always wanted to do it like recreationally. So we both went I think it was last year. It was great. I would definitely do it again.
Yeah.
We all said we would do it again.
Yeah.
I will be honest, you don't really jump out. You kind of waddle to the door and then just
fall.
Yeah.
right out the side. But you're in good hands. They're great out there.
I feel like that part, weirdly, aside from the fear that is currently coursing through my body thinking about that moment, it's like the jump part doesn't really bother me so much as the rest of it, honestly. It's like the lead up and then the mid fall. But is that, I mean, I didn't want this to become a sky. I feel like I did this last time too, where I was like, tell me about skydiving.
I mean, you're kind of falling for like 90 seconds, really, and then the canopy opens, and it's so quiet, incredibly
It's
peaceful.
surprisingly quiet.
It's awesome. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
And I think too, like when you first fall, you think it's going to go by so quick, but then you have time to actually kind of like look around and like breathe a little bit, and it really is just an incredible experience. I don't really know how to describe it.
It's very interesting to hear you all mention this almost like meditative aspect.
It is.
Especially when you're in canopy, it is kind of that way.
Yeah, it's just kind of surreal.
When you say in canopy, you mean like post parachute for the
so after
normies at the table?
Yeah, once the chute launches.
I don't know. I didn't learn my proper terminology. They'll teach me there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. And I remember last time we uncovered a little secret, and since we are in a place like Jungle Jim's, it's known for food. If I recall correctly, at least two of you, and maybe the third, but since you weren't here last time, I can't confirm. Two of you at least were very involved in something fun, the Butler County Donut Trail. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're the two. Tracy and I are
the
the founding
founders.
members of that. Yeah.
What a cool thing. Tell the audience what that is.
13 mom and pop donut shops, one passport. Go to them all, get a stamp, and we give you a sweet T-shirt.
That's really
That's
cool.
it.
And every year we change the T-shirt color and design.
Oh,
So we
cool.
have people that come back and have built a whole collection of Donut Trail T-shirts.
You know, if anyone out there is watching this and you have some of those shirts, you should send me a picture. You can send a picture of yourself in them, or if you just want to lay them out. I just want to see what we're working with. We can add it into the episode. Well, the episode would have aired at this point, but I'll put it in a future piece. I don't know what I'm doing. How did that come about?
A brainstorming session. We sit down, kind of like how you have your whiteboard here. We
Yeah.
sit down and we just throw ideas out there like, lack of feasibility, who knows what it'll cost. Just kind of think about ideas without parameters and see what comes out.
Yeah.
And then we figure out what's actually going to work and what sounds fun. And Donut Trail is one of those things.
I'll be honest. We've had some terrible ideas in those brainstorms.
Yes.
Oh.
Like absolutely horrible. And then
How
everyone,
bad are we talking?
I mean, that's in a safe space for me and Catherine.
Ooh, I love it already. Cool.
There is a brainstorming vault.
That's amazing. But
I feel like sometimes that's how it snowballs into
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to get the bad
Good.
ideas out there.
It's all part of the process.
Yeah, you
if
said it really
will.
well about like coming up with ideas without parameters. I
Yeah.
think that's really the key. You're like, listen, no idea is a bad idea
Yeah.
until later when we go, okay, it was a bad
was
idea.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to start that way. Yeah.
So that was 7 years ago almost that
Yeah.
we had. And another fun fact is when we started, we ordered 25 shirts, right? 50 shirts.
50 donuts.
And we've had almost 35,000 people finish it.
That's insane. How long of a trail is it?
About 80 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've had, people from all 50 states and 22 countries complete the trail to date.
That's really impressive
So-
too. That's super cool.
It's pretty fun.
How can you do it in a day?
Oh, yeah. You can. You just have to get
Carly's
up
an
early.
expert on that.
Yeah, talk to me about that,
I
Carly.
recently just did it in one morning
Wow.
for some TikTok content.
Oh my gosh! In one morning?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Because when I started working for Travel Butler County, I had a donut from each shop just from people bringing them in, but I had never actually done it. So I was like, I want to actually do this, so I
Yeah.
have the experience.
That's insane.
It's a ride.
It's
an
a
emotional
lot.
roller
Emotional
coaster.
roller coaster. For
Okay, so
sure.
let me ask you about a processing because this is something I've been thinking about since last time, since I didn't ask, and now that I've got somebody that's freshly done this, did you eat as you go, or did you collect everything then? Like,
So-
are there rules preventing this potential version of doing it?
I collected, I ate the first donut but I got one donut from each shop, and then I just kind of collected them all at the end. And then I kind of gave them away too. But I know a lot of people who want to go with family and friends, they'll get one and maybe split it into
Right.
4, so you're just having a little bite.
Smart.
Because 13 donuts in one morning is not
It's
recommended.
a feat. Yeah, for sure. It was like I can hear my doctor calling
I
me
also
right now.
recommend getting something substantial halfway in between, because after 6 donut shops, I started to get hangry. I
Sure.
needed something of substance.
Right, you're like,
So,
that wasn't just sugar and
yeah, I was like, I need some bacon or something. I don't know,
That's
something that keep me going. Because it's like you're on a sugar high, but you need
Right.
something of substance.
We need to figure out a midway stop. That's the next thing. We got to figure out a
Jungles.
great. Yeah.
Jungles.
Yeah.
There it
Because
is.
Jupiter Coffee and Donuts is
It's just
right
right
across the street.
Okay, I thought that
true,
was on the
yeah.
list too. Do you all have any? Well, I mean, not that you want to pick favorites, but you know, I mean, all parents say that, and I'm sure I was my parents' favorite. But no, all kidding aside, do you have any favorites on the trail that you've tried?
We could probably pick a favorite from every shop.
Yeah,
honestly.
honestly,
And
yeah.
then seasonally, it changes too, because now you can get the pumpkin donuts.
Oh,
Which,
see,
so-
that's fun. See, I'm here
Yeah.
for the seasonal flavors too. That's an untapped market in the donut game, in my opinion, at least regionally speaking. So I'm excited about that. That's what we should do the next time too. Is we should all do the trail together.
Oh
we
my
can
gosh.
do it.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, I'm
I'm telling
on
you,
board.
I'm warning you. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
You reach this pit. Where
Life
you're like,
is an
I'm not
emotional
sure.
roller coaster
I'm
for
not
me.
sure if I can do this. And you
Yeah.
rally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you power through, and then you just feel so accomplished.
Yeah.
At
done.
the
Yeah.
end.
Accomplishing.
We've done it a couple times, and
And it's been years since we have for a reason.
we may not have recovered.
Yeah.
So
No.
it's funny because
it's
some
fun.
people come into our office to get their T-shirts after they've done it, and they're like cheering, like they'll come in like, "We did it!"
Yeah.
Some of them are like dress up too, and
Really? They take it very seriously.
Oh,
I
yeah.
kind of love
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Donut Trail participants, reach out to me. You sound like my kind of weirdos. I'm way on board. It just sounds, you know what, look, I love those kinds of things. I think it's a really great idea because, look, I'm not even, and I meant to ask this and I will still talk about it. But, you know, I personally was like, where exactly is Butler County even, right? Like, obviously we're in it right now, but like, what do the edges look like kind of a thing? I think this is one of those brilliant things that, in my opinion, engages so many of the local businesses in one way or another that really kind of makes what you're doing stand out. You know, you don't hear about this kind of thing in a lot of other, you know, like regional travel, you know, specific things. So seriously, congratulations. I think it's such a cool idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just want to highlight what makes Butler County Butler County.
Sure.
You know, Jungle Gyms is part of that story, so are donut shops and so many other things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. What are some of the other places that you always like to guide people in the direction of? You know, I know we talked about the skydiving, obviously here, some of the donut locations, things of that nature. What are some of the other highlights in Butler County to you?
Pyramid Hill's always another popular choice.
That's the sculpture park,
It's a
right?
sculpture park, yeah. So it's over 300 acres, and I think 70 or so monumental sculptures at this point. And so that's always a really kind of nice place to get out and explore, and it's pretty serene up there as well.
Oh, yeah. They do I know they do a cool lights display in the winter too with
do.
the people from Blink, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a partnership with Blink. Yeah, it's a drive-through light display for the holidays.
But it's beautiful the rest of the year too, because I didn't realize, I don't, you know, I live in Kentucky, so it was like, you know, I make that trek. Well, now that I make the trek regularly, it doesn't seem as far.
Yeah.
But prior to this, I was like, okay, I'll go one time in the winter. I'm like, oh, what a nice place. And I stupidly didn't realize it was a beautiful place to walk around in the spring, summer, fall, you name it. Really amazing stuff. And they've always got something cool and interesting and different there. What a cool spot.
They do.
Yeah, how about some other spots?
I really love Nation Road Horse Rental, which is out in
Okay.
Oxford. So it's a small family farm, and you can go out there and ride horses. They match the horse to the rider,
Oh,
and it's just
cool.
lovely and serene and peaceful. And they have different trails that you can go on depending upon your experience level. But the family is just so genuine and kind, and I always recommend people go check them out.
Every time we talk to you about something fun, I'm just like, cool. So this is the list of things that we'll be doing together on the show in the future, right?
They're always
We're
up
in.
for guests. So.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
That sounds like a lot of fun. How about you, Carly? Anything speaking out to you?
actually just over the weekend I went to Pinball Garage, which is over in Hamilton.
Brad Baker, friend of the show. I wasn't a
Yeah.
fan of the show. I don't know if he likes it or not, but he seems to like me. So
But they just recently expanded, so they added some more pinball machines and some other arcade games as well. But I always like going there. I think it's really fun and cool.
and his brisketology food is really great
Yes,
too, which is kind of an again, I'm not super familiar with Hamilton, so it's been really cool. I went there once in college, and I remember it being drastically different than the place it is now, where I'm like, oh, there's so much life to it, you know. What's the amphitheater there? Is that River's Edge? Yeah. They're always doing something interesting, you know. It's a really cool spot.
Wake Nation is also super popular.
Oh, is that the wakeboarding place I've heard
Right
so
down
much
the
about?
street.
Yeah,
From
right
Jungles.
here in Fairfield, actually. So you can wakeboard without a boat there. It's a cable tow system that tows riders around a small lake. And you can go over different, I don't even know, features that they have out in the lake. And if you've never wakeboarded before, they have a really great entry program so you can learn how to do it properly before you get out on the big pond.
Huh. All right. Well, I've been looking forward to a place where I could get dragged by a cable and eat it
I
into
will
a body
say
of
that
water.
I will say that the learning process is key.
Yeah.
Because if you just hit that big rope too soon, it might not turn out so well. But they have such a great staff and a wonderful way of kind of introducing people to that sport that I definitely recommend it, especially in the summertime. It's lovely.
Again, one of those things I didn't anticipate hearing is a thing that we had right down the road here. You know, I can't encourage people enough. You know, that's great. And maybe this is a good bit of information for anybody that's just traveling in general. Like, always look for these types of organizations, because everywhere you go has things that you're not going to think about at first. You're like, oh,
Right.
well, you know, I mean, the wakeboarding honestly kind of blows my mind, because I'm sitting here thinking we're in Cincinnati, Ohio, or in the greater Cincinnati area. And it's like, oh, we wakeboard here? You know, I just thought that was something that we did in coastal places or lakes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
How you've done it, right?
I have done it. I can't say I was as successful as I would have hoped, but I've done it. I've gotten to the first feature. But honestly, they've really, their introductory program is where people need to start. And they definitely want people to feel like they're going to be successful and come back another time. So they want people to be able to get up on the board. Yeah.
We're just trying to accommodate everybody, right? It's accessibility now.
Yeah.
Catherine, anything else that you really love in the area that we should definitely think about, especially as the holidays are coming up?
Well, not holiday related necessarily, but Holiday Auto Theater is awesome. Cool. That's out near Hamilton, and it's a drive-in movie theater, which obviously is nostalgic and retro and cool and just fun. And so they have a fun little snack bar in there that we all really like. They give you you can get the whole snow caps and the giant buckets of popcorn, just open up the tailgate and sit
Movies
there
aren't quite as good unless you have those types of snacks.
Right.
There's just something about the combination. That's the ultimate food pairing, like popcorn and a movie that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, was there something else in there too, or did I cut you off?
Entertainment Junction, which is over in Westchester. It's the world's largest indoor train display. I have two little ones, 7 and 3, and they just love looking at the trains, pushing the buttons, running around in there. And it was all built by volunteers. So that the whole display is so incredibly intricate, and it's just something worth checking out.
That sounds awesome. And where can we follow you all online?
Our website is travelbutlercounty.com, and then we have a variety of different social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
And just all, is that at Travel Butler County?
Yeah, all of them are at Travel Butler County, except our TikTok is at Butler County, Ohio.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure to follow you over there, too. I'm having a lot of fun on TikTok myself right now. There's a collab in the future, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, ladies, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us and spreading the good word, as it were.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank
Hopefully
you.
you'll have us back.
Oh, gladly. We've got things to do in the
time.
future, for sure. All the odd numbered ones are the ones where the board will fail. What do you say before you leave? We go see what's in some of our shoppers' carts today.
I've been wondering what people are picking up in the aisles because you just never know.
I've been
There's
stealing.
so much to choose from. So
Right?
it's like, yeah.
I mean, if
I'm
you
always
sent me
curious.
back there right now, I would probably have things in my cart that I hadn't imagined before I walked back. So,
the idea for this bit that I'm stealing from you, Tracy.
that's the thing about Jungle Gyms. You never know what's going to end up in your cart.
It's so true.
Right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
Change my mind.
Yeah, you come here for something normal, and then you're like, all right.
I needed that.
Yeah, of course. Like, what am I going to do with this brick of guava paste otherwise, you know?
I dare people to go to Jungle Gyms and not leave with something that they didn't know they needed.
Right.
Challenge accepted. All right, let's go find out what everybody's got. We're out here on the floor of Jungle Gyms, sponsored right now by Travel Butler County. I think that's what I'm going to call it anyway. And we're asking people in the store, what's in your cart? Hi, how are you all doing today?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm doing great, actually. This is exciting and very uncomfortable for all of us, clearly. What's your name?
I'm Shelby.
Tyler.
Awesome, welcome. So, tell me, what's in your cart?
We got a few things.
I'm like trying to think of how best it is. Let me see run back. I didn't think this through.
Well, particularly, I really like the watermelons. I've never seen them this dark.
Ooh, you're in for a treat.
Yeah?
Yeah, I figured these like the cannonball ones or the black diamonds, so they have a different name depending on what time of year they show up. Generally, a little sweeter and a little more potent and watermelon flavor. That's the one I usually go to. So great choice. Off to a good start. What's next?
Yeah. We got some fortune cookies.
How many fortune cookies do you think are in that bag?
Maybe 40.
Let's find out. Oh, that looks fun. Okay, let's show off to the camera here. What do you think it is?
We're not sure, but it looks like it might be like some kind of chocolate pudding with biscuits or something.
That's a dream come true to me.
though. So
All right, well, we're going to meet back here next week at the same time, and I'd like to get your full written review on all of it. If you could do it single space, that'd be really great and easy on my eyes. All right, we're finding out today what's in your basket. What do you have today?
Yes, sir. So today I have tamarinds, and then we Asian, so we love a chili a lot. We buy a chili here,
Oh, cool.
and then
Fish it first. I'm an idiot.
some is fish. I have a fish too, and then kind of fruits. Did you know this? What kind of fruit is this?
No, what kind of fruit is it?
It's kind of like a jack star, but very small, and then the taste is very sour. And I have some eggplant too.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes, sir. That's all I got.
Bring it to the party.
Right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Yes, sir.
So what are special about the chilies you got in particular? I noticed you had a lot of those there.
Yeah,
Spicy and good?
just spicy and good. This probably is kind of Thai chili. It's the spicy level is good, perfect for me. That's all.
Sounds good. Well, I'll see you at your house for dinner later. It looks like you've got a great setup.
Of course, thank you, sir.
What's in their cart? All right, so you came into Jungle Gyms. I know before we started, you're like, there's nothing interesting in my cart. I already see two things I want to talk about. So what's in your cart today?
So, we're actually here shopping for stocking stuffers, Easter egg stuffers for their partner's birthday party.
Oh, cool.
And I am the Moochie tag along that's like, but what if I got food?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like any good tag along, that's usually my role in the social circle too.
Exactly. The grocery store tag along that's like, okay, I'm just gonna into the cart. Yeah. But my big sneak purchase is spicy tuna jerky.
I've seen it a bunch, but I haven't tried it yet, so we're gonna have to meet back and do a full review later.
Oh, it's really good. I've had it before. Yeah. It's not fishy,
Okay.
which I appreciate, but it still tastes like tuna.
Okay.
And if you put it on a BLT, sometimes you forget that it's not bacon.
Okay, I'm way interested in trying now too. So we got a little like a depth down there. Is that sprayable duck fat?
Yes.
See, I told you it's something interesting to
That's true. That's
used it
true.
before?
I have never used it, but I have cooked with duck fat, and I don't know, the idea of duck fat in a Pam can is just kind of delightful, right?
Right, exactly. It's a dream we didn't know we had.
Exactly, seriously. Honestly, so I've made tater tots with duck fat before, because I was making, for her birthday, I made a duck thigh poutine on tater tots. So this is just like, I feel like the kind of thing where you can make something dumb, fancy, and very rich.
Oh, I like your style already. So what are we making today then? What else? Is there anything that you came in for that you haven't gotten yet in the cart if we stopped you too early? What was that?
I'm sorry, anything super fun that will fit in this egg.
I think I've got an idea or two. What's in their cart? Hi, everyone. How you doing today?
good, and you?
I'll go one at a time. I'm sorry. I'm great, thank you. And how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Still great, actually. All right. Who wants to lead here? Thanks for coming to the Jungle Gyms. What is in your cart?
Well, we got some sushi, California rolls with some like spicy sauce on it.
Okay. Here for the spicy sauce.
I'm here for the budget drinking. We have
Talk to me.
$4 for 4. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then lemongrass and raspberry vodka soda. That sounds for $3. That's absolutely killer.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we got some swordfish for date night tonight.
Oh, any preparation plans for it, or?
Oh, you got any suggestions?
I don't, but I bet we can ask the seafood team. They probably have some really good ones. Honestly, they literally live, eat, and breathe it all the time. That's so cool. Well, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate it. Well, have fun at date night tonight. It'll be weird when I show up at it. Let's find out what's in your cart or basket. In your basket. What did you come into Jungle Gyms for today?
Well, primarily because my daughter's birthday is coming up, and we do a blindfold fruit taste test and get her like the weirdest fruits, and she has to guess. And last year I think she like was 10 for 10. Wow. So I gotta like outdo myself, and we love coming down here sort of as a field trip from Dayton anyway. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm here to buy.
Is this your daughter, by the way?
My daughter.
Oh, the award-winning daughter! Congratulations, and also happy early birthday. You're welcome.
But like,
yeah. So what do we
we
have?
I haven't got my fruit yet, but. Okay, so I used to live in Greece, and my friend brings me back bags of Greek mountain tea that they like picked from a mountain behind where we used to live. And I noticed last time that you guys had it, and I'm almost out of my like giant plastic bag.
This is the one that you like too, right?
Yeah, it's just I'd never seen it in a package. My friend just brings it back in like a loose grocery bag that he just shoves it in. So I was really excited that you can actually get it in the States.
Do you mind holding up to camera just so we can shut up? And we're going to turn everybody on to this new product.
And it's literally just called mountain tea in Greek, and they just translated it.
Yeah, hey, we're not here for fancy names.
I don't know. Like, they just came up with that idea. It's not like sleepy time.
I love it.
And then, of course, I was like, oh, we're out of Cholula, so I just thought.
Got it. Classic.
And then we started laughing because we worked at a creperie last summer, and I would bring in fun towels just to entertain the workers. And we saw this one, and it said, "Eat up, bitches." And we both started laughing so hard we were crying. So.
It's me. I'm bitches.
Yeah. And, of course, millet. I usually have to go to the health food store for it, and I'm like, oh, in the Hong Kong section, because why not? But millet's like an ancient grain. The ancient Romans actually used to eat it, and they found that out by I'm a classicist, so they used to like test their bones, and they found out that the structure in their bones showed that they ate millet.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is super weird. I had no idea.
I know. So it's basically like a healthy form of couscous in my book.
Okay, because I was going to ask you what you were going to use it as.
Grain, but it cooks just like couscous. But couscous is just basically pasta that's ground up. Sure. So I was like, feed my kids some healthy things. Yeah. And Catherine?
Yeah. Hey, Catherine, what do you have here?
I got this sugar-free toasted marshmallow coffee syrup because I like putting it in my coffee in the morning, and I haven't had it in months, so when I saw it, I wanted to get it. And I'm vegan, and I can't really find many baked goods that are like in packages, like at grocery stores, so when I saw the
Chubby Bunny, right?
Yes. Pumpkin chocolate chip donuts. Yeah.
So Chubby Bunny, funny enough, they're a great local bakery, and they are going to be joining me on the show very soon. So maybe off air, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to ask it for you. But pumpkin chocolate chip, that sounds like a winner.
Yes, it sounds really good, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Well, it sounds like you all have a lot of fun, and thanks for blowing my mind with all of the knowledge. Now that you're the new host of the Jungle Gyms podcast, it's crazy. I'm out of work again. Cool.
That's why we come down here, because they always have like all the strange stuff you can't find in Dayton. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming in today. Appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. Yeah, we'll do. Let's find out what's in their cart. Hi, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm awesome, dude. All right, so you're in Jungle Gyms today. What's in your cart?
All right, so today we got some doggies at home. So we got some of the peanut butter treats, just something to really get doggies at the house. Me and my buddy actually wanted to try some new things, so we decided to go by the meat department and grab some of the jerkies that they have around.
Oh, cool. Here, we can show the camera a little bit here for us.
Yeah, some of the venison, some of the buffalo, and my buddy wanted to try some of the venison also. We lost one right there.
It's an exciting pile. I get it. I'm jumping out everywhere.
We're more on the gamer side, so we're really addicted to the G Fuel. So we only come up to Jungle Gym to get it, and we try different flavors all the time. Of course.
What's your what's your games of choice, if I can ask?
I'm a big Apex guy. I'm a big Call of Duty guy, but right now I'm in the moment of For Honor. I'm really addicted to For Honor. I'm an Xbox guy, so For Honor is my go-to. I like to stay away from the competitive scene a lot.
That's really cool. Man, that's an underrated game, too. Great choice. And honestly, Apex guy here, I was a big Titanfall 2 guy, so the fact that they moved that...
You know.
One of my favorite shooters all time. And I got to say, great choice of the dog bones, too. That's Bark Morrison approved. My dog. What else we got in here?
Okay, so we have some grapes. We're trying to get on the healthier side, a little weight loss, so we're trying to stay away from the junk food a lot. So we have a lot of protein, but we have some apples. We also have the taco dip. We only come up here to get the taco dip also.
Really?
It's the best. We've been to multiple locations, and this is the only spot we like the taco dip from. Sushi, again, on the healthier side, trying to stay away from a lot of the junk food. And we also came up here and saw the sparkling water beverage that you have in the liquid department, so we decided to try that also. And just some tortilla chips. We're going to grill out tonight, have some fun, hang out with the family, and just enjoy our time together, really.
That's super cool. Well, thanks for taking the time to do this for me. Enjoy yourself. Welcome. Thanks for coming to Jungle Gyms.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day, dude. Well, that's the show, everyone. I didn't think this through. It's incredibly sunny out here. Had a great time. Thanks to everybody that came out. Sebastian, you were an awesome guest. Travel Butler County. I'm so glad we finally got that worked out. And this guy right over here, he's been a great guest on the show this week too. So, hey everyone, thanks for listening. Send me an email, podcast@junglegyms.com, if you have questions, thoughts, things you want to see on the show. Hopefully all of you have gotten your tickets to the International Wine Festival coming up on November 12th. And if not, well, it's your loss. But in the meantime, I'll see you out there in the aisles.
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.